Hey guys, this is News. We're back with the phone cam. Season 2, it's a colossal mess. Twitter is not happy about it, the Steam charts are definitely not happy about it, and streamers are quitting the game like there's no tomorrow. But I have a question in mind. If Tekken 8 was designed more for casuals and it was there to help casuals get into the game faster, what do the casuals think about this game? Now, I had a conversation with a dear friend of mine, and he played this game like a casual, so he can think like a casual. But we had a conversation. His explanations and his way of thinking is so interesting that I wanted to show his perspective. So I have right here some screenshots from our chat. Obviously, our chat was in Turkish, so I had to translate this. His lines are yellow and my lines are cyan. He was curious and said, what is happening to Tekken after the season 2? You know, it's becoming a trend on Twitter as well, I think. And he was just looking at my video and he said, dude, what is happening to Tekken 8? And I was like, Bandai's killing Tekken. And he was curious on what is happening to the game, like what got changed. And I basically explained some of his stuff, just a very vague explanation of what is happening and probably the small portion of what is happening. You know, I didn't cover every character specific thing. I just explained this general change that happened. You can pause this and read it if you want, but I basically talked about the auto tech that they implemented. So for example, Lydia's down 3-1-2, or they gave an example on Drag's running 2, and if you get hit by this, the opponent will automatically tech without you needing to hold back. So I gave an example on this, like, oh, they're changing this, and he asks the very interesting question and very logical question: if things like these aren't manual, what's the point if everyone's going to do it automatically? And he's totally right. What is the point? Tekken and many other fighting games, if you're shocked about this, it's a fighting game, and fighting games are supposed to be skill needed. They need skill in the game, and Tekken is part of Tekken, which needs skill. So you need to hold back. It's not even that frame perfect. You can just hold back and your character will automatically tech roll. Not automatic. Okay, I shouldn't say the term automatically, but in season 1 at least, you could just hold back and you would automatically tech. So it didn't need that much of a timing, but it needed some skill. And if you didn't tech it in time, you would get a guaranteed hit. Like Lydia would get a down 1+2, for example. So they're just getting rid of this, and he's like, what's the point? And he continues and says, Bandai got bored. It was stupid that they did this. They're right on the review bomb. And he also said, like I said, he looked at the video and saw the review bomb. I don't think the whole issue is the tech, which is, he's right. And the tech is only the small portion of this. I didn't cover the Jack's clap or Brian's full crouch 3, I think, the -12 low, which wall splats for some reason. Every character has some sort of plus move on block. They're removing a lot of the mind games, which I think we'll get into at some point, continuing these screenshots. So this is only the small portion of this, and he's already saying, like, why is this a thing? This is stupid. And I'm continuing in the line and saying you can get out of every scenario or every setup by just holding back. There's no point for setups as well. And there is a really good, I think there was a Mirio clip. I'll try to find it.
Yeah, you can just hold back. You can just hold back. This is the defense buff, guys. This is the defense buff. This is the defense buff. I'm telling you, this was the defense buff. They have deleted all of the tech. If your character had Oki that's similar to that type of shit, it's gone. It is gone. Let me see Jin. Let me see Jin. Maybe Jin CD1 is gone. Jin CD1 is gone, I bet. You don't have to uplock it anymore. Yeah, you just hold back to block that. This is their thought process of buffing defense. This is their thought process of buffing defense by removing Oki setup.
So yeah, setups are no more, and he reacts, which is really funny. to my comment. He says, "Wow, Bandai said bye bye Tekken. Bravo. Continue like this. Very nice." Which always makes me laugh, but that's also the sad truth of this. Even though I'm laughing, this is sadly the truth. Bandai is saying bye bye Tekken. I guess they have rights. I continue and say for the review bomb, and he says, "Why didn't you say the 8 of what makes Tekken 8 is gone?" So basically the whole game is gone, and I continue and say the Tekken and the 8 of Tekken 8 is gone. There's nothing left. And to my "there's nothing left," he says, "Yeah, it seems so. I hope they see the review bomb as soon as possible and change their mistake." And I reply, "I hope." And in case of the review bomb, we can totally see this in the Steam page. Here it shows 16% negative, and if I actually reset this, I had this open for a while. Let's see if it actually decreased. And as you can see, it dropped down 15% actually. So the game is doing terribly. It's dying like there's no tomorrow. And if we look at this, and this is April 1st, the day that season 1 actually dropped, or season 2, my apologies, and it ended with 841 negative reviews and a 61% positive, which is the 7% apparently. So 7% of people are actually happy, while the remaining 93 are very, very sad. And this is April 2nd, 843 negative reviews ended. It ended with, and only 30 actually positive reviews, so it dropped to 3% actually with April 2nd. And as I'm recording this, April 3rd, it's going at 16 positive and 400 negative. So we can also see that this day, April 3rd, it's also not doing amazing. But going back to the screenshot, he shows a photo of the stream reviews. This was a one-time photo, so I can't really show the photo to you, but this was basically a screenshot of the Steam review I showed you. So, and I say, yep, it's going down like crazy. And now this is the point where I really enjoy his, and I really liked his opinion on this, and this is why I wanted to show this. Here, we'll just read it through. This is his opinion on the season 2 and how they really dumbed down the game, I should say. So he says, "Make it casual, veteran, or pro. Everyone can improve and nobody will stay as a beginner. I don't have that many hours in Tekken, but as a casual, I don't want the game to help the casuals. This is already big enough, and the Tekken 8's direction already is to help the casuals." And he follows it up by saying, "I prefer a progression based on skill," which I think this is what makes Tekken Tekken. Wasn't the whole idea of the game being hard? Everyone probably saw or predicted that the game would be hard. The whole purpose, I should say, maybe it's too much of a weird word to say, but the whole idea of Tekken was its difficulty. We all knew that Tekken was a hard game. And starting content creation and also grinding my rank in Tekken 7 Season 4 and Tekken 8 launch, I realized that this would be a hard time for me because I never knew Tekken was an easy game. So the game was already hard, and the whole premise of Tekken was also its difficulty. It's known for being hard, and now they're dumbing down the game, and he prefers a system where you're not helping the casual, you're not based on casuals, you're based on professional play and veterans, which they actually put the time and effort into the game. But moving on to his words, I don't think everyone went to Bandai and wanted to make the game easier. I translated this, and I'm sorry, I couldn't really translate it with everyone. It didn't really make sense to me, so I said parentheses anyone. So I don't think anyone went to Bandai and wanted to make the game easier. What's the purpose of Tekken if the core mechanic is to just press buttons? As a casual, by making the core gameplay easier, where's the fun if I can do the same thing someone with hundreds of hours can do without breaking a sweat? And of course, this is true for every game. Every game has their mandatory skill and labor. They all have different experience because of this. That is the important question. If you can do the same thing a pro player with thousands of hours can do, then what's the point, really? What's the point of grinding that much time. And if everything is around unescapable mix-ups, then what's the point, really? And I don't know. I actually don't have the answer for this.
He runs in, and from running, he can do forward 4. A safe mid homing, right? Or he does this. Can I do a Shining Wizard? And it's a homing throw. And he gets his heat back. He's threatening you with a running mix-up where he's a safe mid knockdown homing. Again, you're playing Street Fighter. He just goes into a heat burst. The three-dimensional space no longer exists. He can run in with a safe, long-range, low-crushing homing mid, safe, knocks you down, or he runs in and does a homing 50-50 throw mix-up. You have to take a guess. You know, if he gets it right, he gets his heat back. The most upsetting factor is that you're reducing all of us, even people like me who have 30 years of experience. When I play against King now, you've reduced me to an intermediate player, even after 30 years. Because all the advanced strategies I've accumulated with tons of hard work, right? Pouring it into your game, it means nothing now. You know what intermediate players do? They duck against King, which is very misguided, right? Because they don't have throw breaks. So they duck the throws. They don't use stepping. And then King can just run in and do that. Or he does this, right? Very misguided. But congrats, that's out the window now with Promised Consort King, right? You've reduced me to an intermediate player.
You can just do safe mids, homing mids that are either safe or plus on block, and you have unescapable mix-up situations like Jack's clap and Leo's back 1-4. What's the point of any of this if it's just not fun and without a counterplay? Because give any casual any character that has 2 broken mix-up. Like, I'm gonna go over Leo, but there's no harm to Leo. I just have an example in mind and I can't really think of anything else. No harm to Leo mains, but I think they also disagree with this change. So Leo's back 1-4 used to be sidesteppable, and you would basically shut down Leo's gameplay by sidestepping. So Leo had to think more, and they were hesitant to go for the second hit. And if the opponent didn't go for the second hit, or if the opponent didn't sidestep, that's when Leo could go for the mix-up. But now with the Season 2 change and Leo's not steppable back 1-4, there's no skill to it. There is no step, there's no side step, so you have to take the mix-up. So it goes to, are you gonna do the mid, or are you gonna do the low? Are you gonna do another plus on block, or are you gonna do another plus on block, or are you gonna do a low? Are you gonna do a safe mid that goes to another stance mix-ups? And the list can go on, honestly. And here's my reaction to it. Tekken's whole point was its difficulty, and people who bought the game probably knew or researched. So backing up his words, I basically said Tekken was difficult, and probably anyone who buys fighting games know that they're hard. I mean, come on, if you're buying a fighting game, you know it's gonna be hard. We can go over the entire catalog of fighting games, but if card games are revolved around luck, if roguelikes are based around going back to beginning and starting over and over again and getting a good run, then fighting games are around difficulties. You're testing your limits, basically. You're testing your knowledge, you're testing your reaction speed, you're testing everything with these fighting games. And moving on to the words, it was very technical, had many things where you needed thinking. Now those things disappeared and the game turned into, will they do mid or low without counterplay? Bandai will make casuals win Evo for sure. So continuing on is it gonna do a mid or the low? Like I said, Leo is a good example for this, and there are many other options. Jack's clap, come on. How many times you have seen a Jack clap where there's no counterplay? And moving on, I say the problem is they're focusing on casuals too much. Sure, help them, the game is already hard enough, but don't kill the pro player. So what I'm basically trying to say is, let's go over Jack's clap, because everyone has seen what it can do, and I think this is a valid example to give. If you're making a move like this, where Jack's clap is a +8 on block homing mid that goes to the same mix-up, that goes to gamma mix-up, at least have it, if you're making a move this strong, which in my opinion +8 is already too much, reduce it down, tone it down, so there's a clear way to stop this. That way in the pro scene, that problem isn't a problem anymore, and in the casual scene you can just do whatever you want, because everything works in casual scenes. Nobody knows the matchups too well. But in pro scene, when you have a move when you have a move like this with no counterplay, it just makes the pro players also dumb down. If you have a move like this, like Jack's clap, at least make it less safe on block. I say safe, but it's actually less plus, I should say, is the better word for this. Or make it steppable, so Jack cannot just spam this mindlessly. So at least in pro player, there is a clear counterplay. And this is a great example with Lydia. In lower ranks, in casual ranks, Lydia is always a problem, where she has multiple options to go to stance and she has multiple ways to mix it up. So it gets confusing in casual scene. But in the pro scene, Lydia struggles a lot with these stance transitions, because there are clear answers that she can be stopped by. That way she needs more thinking and more of a, oh, what can I do to stop this with the tools I have, rather than, oh, I have this, let's just spam it and they can't do anything. So moving on, he says, isn't there a matchmaking for this normally? Only similar ranks show up in the ranks, but everyone in casual. I think that was a thing in Tekken 7. You could just rank up with anyone in casual rank, I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think this is how it worked, and this is also what he remembers, but please correct me if I'm wrong on this. But I said, but you can now rank against your similar ranks in casual match as well, which is a quick match. So in ranked match, you're still facing against similar ranks, but also in quick match, you're facing against similar ranks as well. So he says, oh, they fixed it. If a casual faces against someone against their skill that allows slow progression, then why are they changing to who? So this is a really interesting line, and I also agree with this. There's also a magical saying by K-Wiz. He says, who is this patch for? And I totally agree with both K-Wiz and my friend, because totally it's not for pros. It's not like there is a counterplay to this. It's also not for casuals, it seems, because casual people are also mad about this. And continuing the line, I say, like I said, I don't know. I don't know why they're doing this and who are they doing this to. So moving on, he says, I hope they change it with the patch. There is nothing too much left to say. They also review bombed already. I hope they don't leave it like this. Surely they will listen. They won't ignore this much feedback. And we only have to hope. We only have to hope. There is one more patch before, if they don't want to do an emergency patch, there is one more patch. And that is the patch before TWT starts. So realistically, if they don't go for a patch before that, like an emergency patch, realistically, they have one shot at this. And if they don't get things right, it seems like the whole community is gonna just die. It's gonna blow up. There's no one that's supporting Bandai's side, which is the sad truth. Casuals don't like this, and pros don't like this. Nobody likes this. I mean, you can look at the Steam chart, and surely the 800, the double 800 review we got from the Steam charts on April 1st and 2nd, surely they're not all like blue and above, or all of these tournament players. There's only so many tournament players that can send negative feedback to this. Surely there are other players, other casuals, anyone that don't like this and want to share their opinion. So we can see that there's no one that's actually on their side, and we only have to see what happens next. We're only hoping that there's something gonna happen, but after waiting for so long, some people are just tired. So this is what all I'm gonna talk about. This is a way to show you what casuals think, and as you can see, even a casual don't like this update. So we don't know who this patch is. We're only here to hope that things will change. This is what we are doing for so long. You know, we waited for changes in season 2. We're waiting changes in update before the TWT. So we just keep on waiting until something happens. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about. Hope this helped to understand the way a casual thinks. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this. I really want to hear your opinion and your thoughts about this. It really matters to me. Every different opinion I can think of is a good thing, in my opinion. And with different opinions, we can have maybe different solutions to this problem. So yeah, again, hope you have a wonderful day. See ya.